That sort of was hard to say.
Appointment only.
Here's a favourite old bush song, and we'd like you all to sing along.
The old gum tree.
Welcome to The Thunder Down Under. The all-Aussie alternative and metal music showcase.
Fly a flag on your aerial.
And how about your host, eh? Kane Vella Fella. G'day again, legends. It's another episode, the third installment of The Thunder Down Under. Thanks for tuning in. We got 2.5 hours of Australia's finest, and we're featuring a band from Tasmania called Black Serenade. An interview I did with those guys that we'll be playing in and throughout the show. Another exciting thing I'm going to include in this show is the announcement of the winner of our monthly giveaway. That's right, guys. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. I've been reaching out to the artists for merchandise, be it stickers, t-shirts, CDs, stubby coolers, patches, anything like that. Just a donation to a prize pool, so that I can put a pretty little package together for you guys as the listeners and announce a random winner each month on each new show. So a new installment of The Thunder Down Under goes live on the first Sunday of every month. And from here on, we're going to be announcing a new winner each month. Now, the conditions of eligibility to potentially win a prize package includes a couple of things. You must be a resident of Australia, as this show and the station is a non-for-profit organisation. This ensures that the postage fees are kept to a minimum. The person must be following The Thunder Down Under on Facebook, and they'll have to DM me privately on Facebook through my personal account, Kane Moose Knuckle Vella, to exchange their postal details. This is a drive, guys, to generate interest in your music as the artist, and also it will encourage people to listen to the show. It's a win-win all around. So stand by, guys, for the announcement of the first winner of our first ever random draw. It could even be you. So let's kick off, guys, with some Black Serenade, 4-piece metalcore band from Hobart. This is Orphic. You're on The Thunder Down Under.
Fire!
I'm here with Black Serenade, Tassie boys. I'll get you to introduce yourselves if you like.
Yeah, well, Black Serenade from Tasmania, just writing some metalcore riffs. It's about it, really.
Jarvis do vocals, got Chris on guitar, writes all the riffs for us.
And I hold down the low end. I'm Will on bass.
On the bass.
And I'm Zach on drums.
Yeah, big man behind the kit.
Yeah, makes it all better. Turn up the volume.
Nice, guys.
The old cymbal cracker 5,000 over here.
the alter ego, is it?
Something like that.
Zildjian's personal voice tester.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zildjian, hit me
Obviously
up for
sponsorship. There's something dodgy going on there.
This is your boy Jeff T, and I'm listening to Thunder Down Under with Kane Vella Fella, right here on Front Row Radio.
Aussie! Aussie! Aussie!
Oi, oi, oi!
Bam! Straight into the deep end of the shitter, guys. We started off with Black Serenade, a track from them called Orphic. I'm featuring an interview with those guys throughout the show, so keep an ear in. Parkway Drive, Guns for Show, Knives for a Pro, some of their earlier material from their album Killing with a Smile, released in 2003. Third up in the set, a band called Vapors from Adelaide. In the city of Adelaide, a metropolis known for its vibrant music scene, a new force has emerged in the deathcore genre. Vapors, a four-piece band formed in 2020, has been making waves with their energetic and technically impressive sound. Vapors' music is a masterful blend of crushing guitar riffs, cascading drums, and introspective lyrics, drawing inspiration from the likes of Chelsea Grin, Lorna Shore, Whitechapel, and Volumes. The band's sound is both familiar and fresh. Lead vocalist Stephen Wickens' aggressive vocals are perfectly complemented by the band's tight instrumentation, creating a sonic assault that leaves listeners breathless. Vapors has already made a name for itself in the Australian music scene, having opened for Volumes and played notable festivals such as Froth and Fury and Metal on the Murray. The band's music videos, which showcase their technical prowess and creative vision, have garnered attention online. Sounds like that's worth a look at, guys. With an EP and a full-length album under their belt, Vapors is a band to watch in the coming years. Their music is a reflection of their passion and dedication to their craft, and fans of deathcore are sure to take notice. Check them out, like and subscribe, guys, on all the socials, all that stuff. That track was Vapors, Noose Ends. And finishing that segment off, another one of Australia's iconic metalcore bands, I Killed the Prom Queen, with one of their early day tracks, When Goodbye Means Forever. Favourite Australian beer, guys? I'll just go like between you.
100% Coopers for the win. Coopers red all day.
Red.
Coopers purple. Anything Coopers, but mainly red and purple.
What do
for
you
me,
think of
anyway.
The light blue Coopers. What is it?
The light blues, they're the lagers, man. Yeah, they're good. Yeah,
You like them too?
Yeah.
I'll do a Cassie Day.
A Cassie Day?
Yeah. Do Tassie.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like some local.
Draft, yeah.
I'll smash an Iron Jacker if Furphy. When it's
Okay.
whiskey.
Yeah, no worries.
Definitely.
Hot take, I'm not a massive beer drinker.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What's your favourite baby?
Probably just rum.
Okay.
Straight up.
Tasmanian?
Any sort. Any sort.
Oh.
Straight. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the piss.
Just straight rum.
Yeah.
Valley does some real good spirits in Tasmania. They're real good.
Not even on the rocks. Just no. Don't water it down. No.
Leave that to the ice, mate.
Next minute, the wife
What a
beater comes
guy.
out.
I don't drink much. I just get on the hard stuff straight.
Don't know why. It's just the way I
Green glass too.
One glass a day.
don't do beer. I only do spirits.
Fair call.
Yeah.
Fair call. It's a far cry from not drinking much. But yeah, cool. It's good. All right, cool. This is a shitty language warning. If you don't like it, cover your ears or go put the kettle on.
The worst two accents go as follows. The white Australian accent and the Aboriginal accent. I'm sorry to the Aboriginal people in the crowd. But there's nothing sexy during the throes of passion for you to whisper into your lovely partner's ear, fuck off, you dumb dog. It's just not. Even in French, bonjour, tu stupid. It's not that good. And then it's us filthy whiteys Like 200 years ago when we turned up and borrowed the land, when we turned up, we were all speaking like this. Oh, yes, good afternoon, madam. Would you like another cup of tea? What happened? Now we're all fucking like, oh, come and fuck me, cunt! What happened?
The Thunder Down Under!
just kicked that section off with Japunga, the Bryce, massive 3-piece band hailing from Brisbane. They were formed in 2001, and that was a track, in fact, taken from their debut album, Light at Day's End. Had the pleasure of watching those guys live many, many years ago when they supported, I believe it was the Butterfly Effect up in Cairns at the Brothers Leagues Club. Absolutely huge sound for a 3-piece band. Their last release was in 2005 with their second album, Souls Conflicting. We haven't heard anything more from them since, which is a bit of a shame. Hopefully, they might emerge one day again yet. Then we had a single from a band called Brooklyn Comic out of Sydney. That track was titled Plot Heavy, and it's their debut single for the year, just released on the 21st of March. Then the Australian death / thrash metal band Icons from Canberra, Alchemist, an old track of theirs, First Contact. And finishing off the set with Cicada Stone, a 4-piece band from Melbourne. They've got 3 albums under their belt and 1 acoustic EP released as far, with their latest album being released through X Music titled Future Echoes. Those guys are currently working on their 4th album, so something to look forward to and look out for, guys. This is Department of Gloom, Kill Someone. You're on The Thunder Down Under.
Front Row Radio.
Like it's falling off. I can't breathe and I think the spell is wearing off. I'd like to stay, but I'd rather be somewhere by myself where I wouldn't have to talk to anyone.
So, Black Serenade, what do you feel are the strengths in your music? What makes you guys unique?
I think it's the varied in music taste that we listen to.
Definitely.
That's the big thing, I reckon. And I think a little bit too is like, I didn't start as the drummer in the band, and now I'm the drummer. So I think that adds a bit of different take on the side, So
getting along as well. You can take your starting song, it doesn't come out sounding anything like it because you've got a whole band's influences in it, changing little bits and pieces too.
Yeah.
Makes it much more dynamic.
Yeah.
Yes, they never start
vibing
between each other.
It's important, isn't it? Yeah.
I think once the riff gets filtered through everyone, or like the initial idea, once it gets filtered through everyone's creative perspective, it becomes something completely different.
I like that that's how we work, that it's someone has an idea and then we all add to it and build it together instead of being one person's vision coming through, and I think that's really good.
An actual team.
A bit of everyone's flavour in the mix, The beauty of a band. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
The cloud, the walls,
snare there. Iconic Aussie hardcore band with their track Burning Black. Before that, we had Perth punk outfit Dying Degree with Firestarter. And in front of that, a track from 5 Star Prison Cell, the vocalist Adam Glynn from the mighty Frankenbach there with their track Dolores. And kicking that segment off, we had Department of Gloom with their track Kill Someone. Department of Gloom is made up of 4 Sydney, Australia-based musicians, including ex-members of Florida's Genitorturous, Sydney-based industrialist Jerk, and glam metal punks Candy Harlots. The sound is a fiery amalgam of all these things. Beyond that, we'll spare you the usual bullshit, and in a nutshell, Department of Gloom have opened for such acts as Skid Row, Hardcore Superstar, and Wednesday 13, and have played many of their own shows, picking up quite a following of devotees. Following a well-received debut single, I Dare You, in 2018, a lineup change that saw a new drummer join the band, along with a false start recording their debut LP in 2020 due to the dreaded virus. The album was finally completed in 2023. Their eponymously titled 10-track debut was released through new local label Andromeda Records in August 2023 on vinyl, LTT edition CD, and streaming services. The CD run sold out quickly. The LP is in its second pressing. Department of Gloom, everyone.
It's right here. Yeah, because there's an arm. There's an arm, there's another arm, there's another one.
Parents have some concerns of some stuff they may have found in your room?
Yeah, I believe so.
And what would it be?
A human head and hands.
Hippity hop, she'll stop the traffic when she passes by. You'll stop and wish that you were where she's going. Hoppity hip, she'll skip into your heart. You'll wonder why the world is all a glimmer and a glowing. Cute as a koala and as busy as a bee, happy as a kookaburra laughing in a tree. Hippity hop, she's up the way she'll wave goodbye. That's when you'll want the whole wide world to know that you love Skippy. Skippy, 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 our friend ever true.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi. This is Sean from Wings of Thanatos, and you're listening to the Thunder from Down Under on Front Row Radio. Cheers.
So, what's kind of like the favourite gig or gigs you've played?
It's hard to say because we're pretty new still.
I don't want to go too far in the future, but I feel like tonight's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, tonight's probably our biggest.
I think tonight's the one that we're most hyped on. Like, yeah, we had our first show and stuff and we were stoked on that, but I think this one's the one where it's like, we're playing with some big boy bands now, so it's kind of like we're like, whoa, we're
excellent.
We're part of the crew, like
big boy bands. I like that term.
Bands
we get that,
and they're like, yeah, we want you to open for us. We're like, okay, cool, maybe we are actually all right.
Yeah.
So big boy bands.
There's no
Who are we playing with tonight?
So we've got Zeolite, Absolution Sequence, and the new guy Shedding, which they're gonna go nuts.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
it's their first gig tonight.
Had a few hot minutes with those guys, and I'm pretty pumped to hear what they've got. It's very interesting. All right, cool. A little excerpt from my interview with Black Serenade there. What a classic. Gotta love us some Blood Duster. Porn Store Stiffy. Just gets me pumped. Before that, we had the pioneers of Australian post-hardcore, Damaged, with their track Nails. And second up in that set, Wings of Thanatos. Started in 2014 as a solo project in Adelaide, and then as a live band in 2018. Wings of Thanatos endeavour to bring a symphonic-laden atmosphere of melodic death metal upon its listeners, exploring themes of trauma, loss, and the human psyche. In 2024, Wings of Thanatos had the privilege of soul-supporting Flesh God Apocalypse from Italy and Wolfheart from Finland at Lion Arts Factory. That would have been epic indeed. Ethos and The Fragmented Self are the first two singles from their upcoming debut album. We just heard one of those singles, as mentioned, being Ethos. Two outstanding singles from those guys already. Really looking forward to what comes of that album and looking forward to playing some more of those guys at a later date. And we kick that segment off with the latest offering from two-piece Caro Tear slam metal band Head and Hands. That track featured Waiting at the Bridge, notable doom band from the US. Pretty excited for this next track, as I've been given the great pleasure to debut it. This is the third single from the melodic and death groove metal band from Newcastle, Only Remnants Remain. This is Desolate Days.
Hey guys, this is Mark from Only Remnants Remain. You're listening to The Thunder from Down Under on Front Row Radio.
What a banging track indeed. Excellent production. Legends, you heard it first here on the Thunder Down Under. That was Only Remnants Remain and the debut of their latest single, Desolate Days. Eagerly awaiting the release of their debut album after 3 absolutely banging singles so far. Keep up the good work, guys. Thanks very much for letting me debut that on the show. It is a great pleasure.
G'day there, this is Darren Gosford Golding, guitar vocal for Severed Raw Nerve, and you are listening to Thunder Down Under on Front Row Radio. Get it in ya.
You give me a shotty? Yeah. Why? You don't like shotguns? No, shotty's alright. Yeah, shotty's a good one.
So guys, have you got any interesting stories to share from either touring, playing live, or just being in a band?
Zach might tell us about how he got into Loctite.
That's the one. It's like you can think of an interesting moment as something fun and exciting that happens, but for me, it's like something always going wrong with the drum kit. Whether it's like the floor tom falls apart on you, my double kick screwed up last gig, and that just drove me nuts. I ended up like just pegging it after the show. There's those memorable parts that happen.
There was one time that my bass rig short circuited on that jumper lead.
Oh yeah. The bass guitar pedal board bloody shorted out, and we were trying to figure out for ages what was going on. We're pulling apart everything, and then it's just like, oh, this wire's loose. Oh, that's touching.
Yeah,
that shouldn't be doing.
I wonder if you think it's actually possible to pull off a full gig without something.
We're fingers crossed that it's tonight.
It's funny you say that. My favourite one is my last gig that we played, and like my bottom two strings gave out. They gave out right after the last note of the last song of the set.
Oh wow!
So I was like, oh cool. No one noticed, but then I'm carrying off stage by the strings.
Yeah, nice.
I was on the last gig. It was nice. When we jumped in and we're having a bit of a mosh with people, I got knocked down and just entirely forgot where I was at in the song, and I'm like, oh no, I think there's a verse here. What do I do? So it was really, I enjoyed that. I put the pressure on.
I think as a punter, you kind of like you like the calamity too a little bit. Like it's not like you see all the big guns that things don't go wrong. And I think it's more like the way you guys deal with it. It's basically just trying to cover it up the best you can.
You got to have a bit of a laugh or else.
You're holding up your beater and you go, oops.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, there was one gig and the beater on the kick had like just shot off and smacked me in the shin. And so I finished the rest of the song with just my left foot on the kick. And then after the song, I just gone and picked up the beater and held it up in the air. And there was a few people afterwards that were like, man, that was the funniest thing watching you just like pull up a beater and just be like, oh, it just fell off.
That's it. I think the audience vibes off that like to a degree, especially seeing the front man jump in, do himself a mischief.
I think
it's just proof that you're in it, like foolproof, aren't you? Like
have fun, just lean into it, like it's gonna go wrong.
So
that's not be like, oh no.
Yeah,
just be like, oh.
This show's got to go on.
If you're having fun, people will pick up on that. If you're stressing about every little mistake, they'll pick up on that. They won't enjoy it as much. So have fun.
Sure. The biggest thing I noticed, like when I go see a band, you can go see a band and they'll play, and you're just like, oh yeah, that was good. And then you kind of like a week later, your mates will be like, oh, so what was that band like? And you're like, oh yeah. I think if a moment like that happens, like the double kick breaks, or the front man gets knocked over in the pit or whatever. It's like people remember that. So then a week later, it's like, oh, how was that gig? Oh, well, this stuffed up, and it's like when something memorable happens like that, it kind of sits in people's minds a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think to have a perfect show would kind of be a bit lame in a way, like because then what are people going to remember about it? So
and it's a bit of a pipe dream too. I mean, there's always going to be something, isn't there?
Yeah. Always.
Cool, guys. Thank you. The Thunder Down Under!
I smoked a pack of cigarettes before midday. I copped up along around 1. I can't see a thing through my eyes that sting. I can't remember having so much fun. Well, I've never had so much fun. No, I've never had so much fun. I can't remember when I've ever had so much fun. Can't see the water in Sydney, can't eat the food in Japan, and you can't be the air in Los Angeles, but a million people think they can. And I've never had so much fun. No, I've never had so much fun. I can remember when I've never had so much fun. Things like it's filled up with hatred. Why expect any less? And they can't decide about genocide. I think it's time that they took a rest. Now I've never had so much fun. try to compensate blindly for mistakes, trying to make things right. I follow redemptions of the best intentions, but it's always ending up in a fight. And I've never had so much fun. No, I've never had so much fun. I can remember when I never had so much. I can remember when I never had so much. I can remember when I never had so much fun. Well, I can remember when I never had so much fun.
Where's our ad in the Yellow Pages directory?
Keep calm. Count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10.
Not happy, Jan!
The Thunder Down Under!
Designated driver, the captain and the crew. The eye I see in you, this is your world and you its master. Brother, this is your dominion. When will you embrace and love your kingdom? Self-made liberator. You are the heart's way generator. From death into the new, the eye I see in you. You are the light accelerator. Brother, this is your dominion. The self-made liberator. I am the Alpha and Omega. Brother, this is your dominion. Where will you embrace and love your kingdom?
Foot Ninja, The Kingdom. Last I'd heard about those guys, they were advertising to the public on the socials for a new vocalist. Unfortunately, I haven't heard anything since, so I'm assuming they're on somewhat a hiatus. Then before that, a banger from the mighty Frenzal Rom, Never Had So Much Fun. And second up in the segment, a track from the legendary Darren Goulding of Gosford, New South Wales, with his project Severed Raw Nerve. Their track Mistakes Make Graves. Bit of genre whiplash there for yous. And we kick the segment off with a very exciting debut of the third single release from Only Remnants Remain. That track was Desolate Days. Segueing into some more punk style stuff. Emil and the Sniffers. You're on Front Row Radio with the Thunder Down Under.
Good morning. Can you shake off your skin? I was struggling to tell you where I have been, 'cause I've been running around making mess of myself. I know how you feel about that. You told me once when I showed you that, but I'm trying my best to get it on. Not everybody makes it out alive when they are young. I was in Tokyo, showing off a crack, and you told me that I should not be doing that. Hey, I was in LA, shaking my shit, while you were down in Melbourne saying fuck that bitch. You're in New York, getting shit on, and they were down in Melbourne saying you should not be doing that. I'm in my head, doing the work. I'm putting on me shoes and me socks, 'cause I gotta get out of here. Another person saying I'm not doing it right. Another person trying to give me some kind of internal vibe. But I'm working on my worth, I'm working on my work, I'm working on who I am. I'm working on what is wrong, what is right, and where I am. I know my worth, I'm not the worst. You told me once I was. I cannot do this anymore. I gotta hit the bus, 'cause I was in Tokyo, popping shit off, while you were down in Sydney trying to get jacked off. I was in London, being the queen, and you were in my head, saying you should not be doing that. I know my worth. I was a numb, working on my shit, while you were down in Tasman saying flash, let's kick. I was a go, showing off my flex, while you were up and busy trying to show me I can't do it like that.
So guys, who does your production and recording?
For the most part, that's all me. The boys, they'll send me DIs of the guitars, the bass, and Jarvis will send me some vocals, and then I'll just sit at home and put it all together on the computer. So pretty much all up until this point, all the stuff that we've got on the internet, Spotify, whatever, has been basically just done in my room. Yeah, we've just self-produced it.
A little bit of a fact-finding mission now for like an upcoming project that's going to be released, like then starting to look towards like some professional production.
Yeah, that's the next. That's the next step. Is me not doing it.
Cool. It's kind of next level, isn't it, when you start to go down that path?
Yeah, you just hear other people's stuff and you're just like, damn, that's what I want to. And for the most part, you can kind of achieve it, but it's always better to have a different set of ears like listening to it, and someone that actually really knows like what's going on and how to fix certain problems. Like I could sit there and go, oh, I can't get rid of this buzz or whatever, and someone else easily can. You know?
And as with every artist, you're never happy with your own work. So
like you get more fun in it by getting someone whose entire job is mixing and mastering to do that for you.
Yeah.
They've also got an objective perspective on it. Like they're not, it's not their music. They're not going for a certain tone. They're going for what they think people enjoy. So I'm keen to see how that comes out.
Definitely. You can tell the first track we ever dropped, I mixed, and it's very guitar heavy.
Yeah, okay.
Because I play the guitar, I was biased. I'm like, oh, more guitar, and you're listening on it.
You're be able to look back on all of that, guys, and just be like,
one of them's quieter than the other. Like there's one track that's really quiet on Spotify, and then the next one afterwards really loud.
Whenever I do like a rough mix for myself or send to the lads of what's going on with the song, I'm always so much louder than I should be. They're like, what's going on with the music? I can just hear you. Sorry, that's how I needed it to be. Sorry.
Better to have too much signal than not enough, though.
Yeah.
Right, Zach?
Yeah. Well, it can go either way. If you've got too much signal, it's clipping out.
As long as I'm not clipping, that's
Yeah.
This is a shit language warning. There is shit language in this track. If you don't like it, go put the kettle on or cover your ears.
Hey, Tanks, what are you doing after the show?
I don't even know how the fuck I'm getting home, dude.
Should we get a bag?
Let's get a bag! Let's get a bag! Let's get a bag! Let's get a bag! Let's get a bag!
Roll up and up, get it in my nose.
One big whip and I'm ready to go! Fuck yeah, let's start those beers, motherfuckers!
Straight off the scale, then one big inhale.
Let's get a bag! Let's get a bag! Let's get a bag! Let's get a bag! Let's get a bag!
Bags.
I can't stand it anymore. So it's about time you shut the door. Fuckwit City's a place where you belong. Fuckwit City's a place where you belong. Fuckwit City's the place where you belong. Fuckwit City, Fuckwit City.
Well, look who it is. It's Mark.
Lizzie.
Adzilla, the OG3 of Aussie punk band.
Kathleen Turner Overdrive. And you're listening to...
The Thunder Down Under. On Front Row Radio. Radio.
Iconic punk acts there. Amel and the Sniffers, You Should Not Be Doing That. The Pingers, Let's Get a Bag. Those guys are from the snowy mountains of New South Wales. They were followed by Cosmic Psychos, a track released in 2015 from them guys. That was Fuckwit City. And finishing off the section, a cute little track about man's best friend from Kathleen Turner Overdrive. That was Best Dog. what are your plans and goals for the future of Black Serenade?
This year, we want to get kind of like a EP sort of thing.
We want
not a full album, but
we want our EP, like our demo EP, and we want our full length EP out by the end of the year.
Total of 10 songs.
Yes.
Left to release that we want out this year.
And a hefty EP, 10 songs.
So it's 8.
Yeah, we're pretty hefty.
Yeah.
Pretty jam-packed. It's crazy cool stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
And then from there, we've got a couple more shows coming up towards the end of the year. Some like big Tassie supporting acts, which is exciting. And then from there, hopefully next year we'll start going to state, get our in-ear rig and set up so we play with the big boys.
Yeah.
Would like to, when we drop the EP, go around Tassie and visit Launceston and stuff.
Yep.
See
nice.
people up there.
Yeah.
A little bit more movement.
Yeah, more movement, that's all right.
More on the mainland too.
Definitely.
Maybe next year.
Cool. You mentioned about some upcoming gigs with some bigger acts. And
yes, so we've got...
anything you can reveal? Or
yeah, we can, because we haven't... They've created the events, so we've got April back here with Lacerda and Gene Slave, and then in August we've got Atrobeticis and Christ.
Christ Dismembered. Yeah.
From South Australia, so that one's going to be pretty hectic.
Yeah. That's Maddie Ford from Christ Dismembered. They just released an an album, I think. So have you listened to that by chance, or anyone? Yeah,
it's very
it's intense.
My hand will fall off after one song.
That guy's just a musical genius. He's like multi-instrumental, does all their own production in so many bands. But cool. The little snippet from the boys of Black Serenade and our interview
I didn't
there.
know until I came here that you don't have shrimps on the barbie. He went, we don't have shrimps on the barbie, dickhead.
Well, all countries have cliches. You know, if you ever ask an American to sort of describe England, that's not an Anglophile that hasn't been there much.
Yeah.
They'll be like, all right, go, like that. Literally, that's how they think.
It would be the equivalent of you lot going, oh my God, have you heard about England? They've got a Russian-speaking meerkat.
And they live in a stately home. And get this, they sell car insurance.
The Thunder Down Under on Front Row Radio. It's time, guys. We're gonna do the announcement of the random winner from our Facebook page followers, and the winner of the first ever draw is Tracy Stone from Sydney, Australia. Tracy, if you're listening in, thank you for your support. We want to send you a lovely little gift package compiled of some donated goods from some of the artists that we've been playing on the show. So if you could DM me on Facebook, that's Kane Moose Knuckle Vella of the Thunder Down Under, and swing me your postal details. We'll sort that out for you as soon as possible. Congratulations, Tracy. Keep listening in. Thank you for your support, and we hope to hear from you soon. Next random winner for our draw will be announced at the next show, which goes live on the first Sunday of each month, 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Keep tuning in, guys, and you too could be up for a pretty little prize package. And a massive thank you to all the bands that have contributed to the prize pool as far. You know who you are. Absolute legends. And if y'all want to contribute, guys, DM me for the postal details. We can make that happen. Cheers.
This is Jason from Borden, and you're listening to the Thunder Down Under on Front Row Radio.
We hear fear in the raven's call as it soared on the eagle wings last night. There's a black serpent in its mouth. Now
we got black magic fever from the snake bites. There's voodoo in the water. There's voodoo in the air. Don't believe the lies they try and sell you. There's voodoo everywhere. You see it in the red, white, and blue collar worker. He's just working for the man to survive. White is the skin, red for the wine. Thinks up to you to think everything is alright. There's voodoo in the water. There's voodoo in the air. Don't believe the lies they try and sell you. There's voodoo everywhere. We fear in the raven's call as we soared on the eagle wings last night. Yet some black serpent was hanging from its mouth. Now we got black magic fever from the snake bites. There's voodoo in the water. There's voodoo in the air. Don't believe the lies they try and sell you. And there's voodoo everywhere. 33 feathers per wing, left and right. Flying with the two-headed eagle, but only one eye. One goal they have for you and I tonight. Release the serpent, snake bite all mankind. There's voodoo in the water. There's voodoo in the air. Don't believe the lies they try and sell you. 'Cause there's voodoo
Traveling in a fried-out combi on a hippie trailhead full of zombies. I met a strange lady, she made me nervous. She took me in and gave me breakfast. And she said, do you come from a land down under, where women go and men wonder? Can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. Buying bread from a man in Brussels. He was 6'4" and full of muscle. I said, do you speak my language? He just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich. And he said, I come much to say. I said to the man, are you trying to tempt me? Because I come from the land of plenty. And he said, oh, you come from a land down under. Yeah, women go and men wonder. Can you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover.
Starting off with AC/DC, back in black. Then we had our one-man project by the name of Endless Night with his track Broken World. This guy is making music inspired by various elements of the worlds around us, deeply influenced by the harmonic pull of the universe, reflecting upon things that were, things that are, and things that will be. It's pretty much a one-man show, from initial ideas to final production, although occasionally it's nice to have a little help from friends here and there. We're all in this together after all. Music is a personal and emotional journey, grateful to share with those who listen. Welcome to Endless Night. There you go, guys. There's Muso, very talented guy reaching out for like-minded people. If you liked what you heard there or want to get amongst it, can make a contribution, have a chat with Sai at Endless Night and never know what you guys could conjure together. Then, speaking of one-man armies, we then had Jason Borden. His project Borden is a multifaceted artist with a proven track record in the music industry, with numerous sync placements in commercial TV shows and songs featured on compilation albums distributed to industry and retail outlets. Borden has garnered a significant following both online and in the real world, with years of live gigging and touring under his belt. To further reach new audiences, he is now seeking opportunities for media coverage, radio airplay, sync placements, interviews, and playlist features. Jason Borden is hailing from Sydney, in which he has established himself as a successful self-managed artist, venue booker, sought-after music producer, and recording engineer, with support slots for renowned acts such as Mammal, Lord, Thirsty Merc, Super Jesus, and Jericho. Mental as Anything, as well as multiple songs aired on national commercial TV and radio. Borden's progress in the industry is significant. We'll be hearing more of Borden's stuff on the show later. He definitely has an eclectic array of styles. That track we just heard was Voodoo by the multi-talented Borden. And finishing off the section, a classic Australian anthem from none other than Men at Work. That was, of course, Land Down Under.
I asked the Prime Minister, if you are so confident about your view of fight back, why won't you call an early election?
Because
Order.
the answer is, mate, because I want to do you slowly. I want to do you slowly. I know. There's got to be a bit of sport in this for all of us. No. There's got to be a bit of sport in this for all of us. And in the psychological battle stakes, we are stripped down and ready to go.
You're listening to The Thunder Down Under, the Aussie alternative and metal music showcase.
Fly a flag on your aerial.
Come on and take it back. You know nothing's been the same since you ain't been around. It's the sound of us falling off the map, blasting off from the sky, letting back on the most track. Welcome to the land of honey. We up the dragons, you kick back and stack the money. New blood and the torch they scream. Pull the cord and they'll never let the see. What's going on inside the knee? Don't be surprised there's a side you ain't seen. Feel the adrenaline in the spot now. Tonight the crowd that we just shut down. One thing that we can agree. I know you and you never knew me. I know you and you never knew me. I know you, but you never knew me. Lose it in the flow. Everybody that you know, are you with me right now? Lose it in the flow. Everybody that you know, are you with me right now?
This is Jay Sunken from Suffer the Avenue. You're listening to The Thunder Down Under on Front Row Radio.
No two people are created equally. No two people are born from the same start line. All along the way they made bad decisions. All along the way they have shifted.
attention. Too sick to mention the times you've hated. You can't relate. Look at your mind and all the steps you've taken. Deep in your heart you know that you're mistaken. You know that you're missing something within you. It makes you feel like you got nothing to lose. You're falling in deep. You're fucking with weight. You're falling in deep.
Classic Testigos, Non-Comprehendus. And before that, Suffer the Avenue, an alt new metal band coming straight out of South Australia, Port Pirie, with their track A New Empire. And second up there, we had Ocean Grove, the Australian new metal tyrants from Melbourne. They have just released a new album called Odd World. That was their track, Fly Away. And opening up that section there, we had a band called Zuko with their track No Place For You. Formed in 2021, Brisbane-based Zuko are the 5-piece you didn't know you needed in your life. The hardcore metalcore group, made up of Jesse Hudson, Logan Gill, Nato Lanen, Ben Matthews and Jordan Bellchambers, introduced themselves with their single Row CT in 2021 and found fast success with the release of their debut EP Hereditary in 2022, cementing their sound as one for fans of Legends Knocked Loose, Alpha Wolf, Varials and Kubla Khan. In 2023, the release of their sophomore EP Venom/Absence saw their power swell, tearing up sold-out stages, leaving their mark on their ever-growing fan base and making their presence in southeast Queensland hardcore undeniable. With more new releases planned for the back half of 2024, Zuko are set to become a dominant force in the globally revered Australian hardcore scene. Guys, we should be starting to see some of the fruits of their labours of 2024, so check them out. That was Zuko. That's about your lot for the show, guys. We've got one more track. We're gonna trail out with another track from Black Serenade. A big old shout out to the boys from Black Serenade. Thanks very much for the interview that we've featured in and throughout the show. If you missed it, guys, we're airing every Sunday from 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And to you artists out there, thank you very much. Those who have participated as far, especially those that have contributed to the prize pool. Keep the merch donations coming, guys. You'll find all the information on the Thunder Down Under page on Facebook. If you want to submit your music and or make a donation to the prize pool, DM me on my private Facebook, which is Kane Moose Knuckle Vella. I hope to hear from y'all soon. Stand by for the next show, guys. We are going live with the new show the first Sunday of every month at the same time as usual, 6:30 p.m. AEST. And of course, we're going to be announcing our next winner of our monthly random prize draw at the next show in June. Guys, you gotta be tuning in to catch that one, and it could well be you up next. Leaving yous with Black Serenade. This is Call of the Void. You've been listening to The Thunder Down Under on Front Row Radio. So, guys, shout outs and acknowledgements. Anyone you particularly want to mention?
I think definitely Zeolite and Absolution Sequence for having us here tonight, which is
Wicked.
amazing.
Yep.
Like we go a little bit more broadly, like our partners and our family as well.
Yeah,
Very
for
supportive.
sure.
We obviously like give up chunks of our weekend and our night, and they run doors and merches, and all that stuff for us. So
Yeah, shout out to Fallon for the photography. My girl killing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyone listening to us, really. That's the other part. People that are coming to shows, man, coming to shows, buying merch. You guys are the legends. They need the real shout outs.
Yeah.
So your partner, Zach, Fallon, she has a photography business.
Yeah, so she's got, Black Noise Photography.
Black Noise Photography, okay.
Yeah, so kind of, you got white noise and music.
Gets busy around Tasmania. She work over on the mainland as well?
She's just mainly been hitting up all the local shows that have been happening, getting a few invites from places. I think Will from Grindhead's been getting her in on some shows, which is really cool. Yeah. Because he's always putting on killer stuff. And but just mainly just the live things sort of thing.
Yep. Nice.
Around in the scene. So if anyone's looking for a photographer for
I was just going that way. Yep. Good on you.
Hit up Black Noise Photography for sure.
Yeah. In Tasmania. Nice. Thanks, man. Aussie! Aussie! Aussie!
Oi! Oi! Oi!
Yeah! Front Row Radio and the Thunder Down Under would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respect to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. You've been listening to The Thunder Down Under, the all-Aussie alternative and metal music showcase.
Fly a flag on your aerial.